Hello there, and welcome to Grim Dawn. My name is Phobius, and this is my first video on this channel, and I am just going to be doing a little Let's Play of a character here. This character is just female. I named her Bonewave because the initial plan that we're going for, but basically we are going to try to make a character that can spam the skilled Bone Harvest from Necromancer, and just play through and see how that goes. I have some various plans for how to do the build, and I'll try to explain as I go here. I started out in Veteran. I am in Softcore right now because I actually don't know if this character is viable for Hardcore. We'll see how well she does. I will do my best not to die as we go through the playthrough and see what we can experience here. So I'm just going to go through the game as standard, but the plan is pretty simple. I'm going to start as a Nightblade, eventually moving to Necromancer, but we want to aim for Reaper because I think that's going to be best for the build since it's primarily going to be focused on vitality damage, and there's a lot of good stuff between the two classes that enable that. Starting Nightblade, the problem is we need to stay Nightblade until we both get to Homestead, which is later on. I think it counts as Act 3 and maybe the end of Act 3. But we have to basically get to Homestead and kind of the end of the story of the Homestead before we hit the Blood Grove, because we need to become part of the cult of Kaiman. Sorry, I'm forgetting the name of them. If you played the game, you know what I mean. And when we get there, that's because we're picking Necromancer, and they will not let Necromancers in at all. But if you start Nightblade, don't choose Necromancer until after you select them, then you're all set. All items that we find, I'm not going to pull them out of my stash. I have all kinds of stuff stored up. I can easily put this build together, but we're not going to do like a speedy playthrough on experience or anything like this. Just pretty standard that someone could duplicate if you wanted to make the same build. The reason we're doing this is Bone Harvest is an excellent skill that has like pretty good root clear, and does lots of good damage. The problem with it is it has a 3-second cooldown. The goal of this build is going to have a point where we're going to use 2 weapons. Part of why we're using Nightblade as well. 2 weapons that'll reduce the cooldown to 0. And when doing so, it becomes a spammable skill that you can use whenever you want. The damage is lowered, but so is the energy cost as well. So as we go through, I'll just try to explain what we're doing, but let's get started.
Still drawing breath,
Gotta talk to him real quick. We'll just hop through his options. Hopefully you've played the game before. If not, I am basically just selecting the options to continue on.
You're not looking too bad. The bodies you will need
to go ahead and get started. Now I've got nothing to start with. I'm just level 1. And we are probably going to use Phantasmal Blades to level and get through content. So these guys are a little slow going at first, but they're not too bad. We can hop up here, grab this corpse, see if there's anything useful. The armor might help. Yeah, put that on real quick. It's a little better than what we got. And if you play Grim Dawn, you know I'm okay, but my Constitution here is going to handle this. Constitution becomes like negligible, something you don't worry about late game, but early game it is useful to getting things going because you don't have to heal all the time. And if I did, I can press R whenever I want to pop a heal potion. There's a 12-second cooldown on that though, so I can't use it all the time. And we're just going to kind of go through these enemies. We've got enough damage right now that we can just punch out of them. So this is something you can do. You can punch out these enemies. However, we don't really want to do this. So they're going to fight each other a little bit. I can't remember if you gain the experience if you kill them, so I have to use a potion there, or if you don't gain the experience if you don't kill them. The little bugs are the most problematic thing early on, because that damage they deal is not reduced by your armor at all. Physical is reduced by armor, it's your first level. But those bugs deal poison, and see, my poison resistance is 0. It's a huge problem. These all being 0 is a big problem, but we're going to fix that as we go. Right now we can't do too much about it. We're just going to level up. We're going to be Nightblade, like we said. Nightblade is kind of a dual-wield class, but they've got some skills like throwing blades and stuff. So think of a ninja. It's kind of this stuff they've got. And we want to get to Phantasmal Blades. We're not going to be able to get that yet. So we're going to pop our 3 points in here, Just get as close as we can. Next level, we'll get it. And as you can see, we're pretty close. We can get there quickly. I'm going to go this way because if I have enemies, I really should be grabbing the weapon. Now, they could, of course, drop a weapon, or I could find one. More likely what's going to happen is I'm going to have to go get one of the green ones that's out here automatically. So I'm going to run past some guys. You can use dodge just to hop past people. That's a spacebar for me, so I can just tap it real quick. Got a big ass rock in the way, so we are done there. We're going to go around and hop through here. Alright. So you can be pretty nimble hopping around enemies. So we're going to... Oh, that's not the right house. I was looking for the gun, because that's at least a slightly decent weapon until I get something a bit better. And grab a note here, get the gun, hop out for a second, pop the gun on, I just right-clicked it. Eat the note. I like to say eat books in this game. They have all the lore. They're super interesting to read, but that's what this playthrough is not about. I'm not going to go through all the lore. If you want to, feel free to play and explore it on your own. Now you can see I can stand back and just shoot these guys a lot safer. So, just do this for a moment, clear this back. Might hit 2 doing this. We definitely want the two-hander because, let's see, I got a helmet now. We definitely want the two-hander green item that we'll get out of here. I'll explain that as I walk over there. Because this skill uses weapon damage, so you have main hand damage. So, should be able to make some use of that. Let's check the map. I hit M for that. Alright, pop over here. 2 more guys in the way. Now, we don't want to go, like, straight up below too far. There's a little, like, mini boss that spawns. He's not a big deal. He's a little harder than veteran, but he's really not too bad. His weapon could be okay for us, though, but we needed something a little stronger to fight him with initially. Luckily, there's something down here. Now, I was going to explain, in the first area, there are some green items that are guaranteed. Like in this body, there's always this. That's pretty good. So we got a lightning sword now. We don't need our shield. We just use a lightning sword. And I hit the level, so 2 points, 1 for phantasmic blades. Now, I am going to go with a spam build on this. I'm going to be spamming spells, so we're going to eventually get phonetic throw. I might raise Heartseeker first, a few levels, because you see it has that 20% chance to pass through enemies. This skill, I'm not real impressed by early on. You'll see why. The blades kind of stop when they hit enemies. It'll do good damage at first, though, so it'll be alright. But when we raise the level to Heartseeker and can get this up to 100%, it can pierce through groups of enemies, so then it can clear. From there, we may reduce the damage. We may do this, which allows us, it takes away the cooldown, allows us to spam it. And the reason for that is, then we can fire it as often as we want to, even though it's slower. Or even though it's going to do a lot less damage. See, now I can just smack these guys out of the way. I forgot to put my skill on, so let's put that on. See, that does a lot more damage than these things. That's going to cost me energy every time I do it, and then I have to deal with the cooldown as well. Let's put on this armor. Now, at some point here, okay, so first of all, you don't need to hold the white items. They are junk. They do not give any stats, and they do not, they're hardly worth anything. It's better to pick up the yellow items if you want items. Now, I like to go in here because there's another note in here. These bugs are a lot easier to deal with when you have a decent weapon. That's why you want one of the green weapons early. They'll help you get through with the first part, where the character is generally as bad as they can be. Pick up this, so you get a bunch of experience by scarfing down that note. And then we're going to head over here, pop through these enemies. Right now I'm just killing stuff. I'm trying to gain levels. Because the challenge you have at first, and here's the little belt, we're pretty much putting on everything we find right off the bat, because that'll fill out our slots. And now, a lot of these have some good abilities on them, but you can't use them until 5, so we're kind of stuck. So I can slice a few guys, But, like here, you see how he ate all of them and none went to the second guy? That's a problem. We do want that getting through enemies. Even if we decide to leave the cooldown, because it's one-shotting groups, then we still want it to go through enemies so it gets to more. I cannot remember if you raise the skill if you get more blades. I think you do. There's other ways to get more blades. That's going to be part of our strategy as well. Alright, so him getting up. Got a skull over his head. I think I've been told those are technically bosses if they have skulls, but he's really not a big deal. Watch his life totals, and one blades and like 3 or 4 hits and he's dead. Now his arm there, as I recall, has a good bit of blue damage on it. That might be handy. So we're just gonna kill through the stack of enemies. Let me see something. Okay, well it spreads a little bit more if we're at range. Alright. I don't use this skill very often. See, they've got some foot pads and stuff. This is generally junk, but we don't have any boots, so any armor we can get is good, because if you've got a 0 in one of those slots with basically our shoulders, it says 3, but there's no armor there. If we get hit there, which is only a 15% chance, but if we get hit there, we take full damage, instead of the armor reducing some of the damage. Now, checking this, it says it's 9 damage less. However, that is compared to a two-handed sword. So, we're going to check these numbers here. So, Phantasmal Blaze and Weapon Attack. Weapon Attack, a little less useful, but the Phantasmal Blaze tells me what the skill's doing. You can see that it's got a breakdown of every little piece there. Pop this on, 90 to 107, so it does go down significantly. But the base is a lot higher. I might go with that for now. Because then I can pop the shield on, have a little bit of chance to block, and move on through. Crossbow could be nice. Because this is primarily going to be like more or less a range build, but going Vitality is important. So damage types in this game, so they're important, but they're kind of not. So I'll compare to another game, like Path of Exile, for example. Path of Exile, weapon damage types are very important because they all have their own qualities. I'm going to take this because I think I see poison more often. And cold, not so much yet. Regen's real good, but can't do with that. So this will be less damage. It's even less than that. Okay. Let's skip that for now. In Path of Exile, for example, damage typing is very important. Like, your fire damage can do burns, your cold damage can freeze, your lightning can shock, things like that. I believe Chaos also generally bypasses energy shield, so I don't know if that holds true today. They may have changed that, but a couple of notes in this house for Creed, who we'll meet later. Tells of his trials, but in those damage types are tied to the status effects. It's not the same in this game. Your damage type is not tied to a status effect, so a damage type doesn't naturally, like, Vitality is known for lifesteal. Like, it's tied to a lot of lifesteal skills. But if your skill steals life, if you convert that Vitality to a different element, then it is going to still steal life. It's just not going to use Vitality to do it anymore. You're going to use cold damage. So the more important thing are the resistances. You got to be able to reduce the right resists. So picking a damage type is connected to resists that you can easily get. Let me check this here. Sometimes there's a rock in the way, not this time. So we're going to go up and save this guy here for some stuff later. And as I said, I'm not going to be pulling items out of my stash. I'm going to be playing through as the game presents right off the bat in Veteran, so we could do all this as well. And a lot of the items we're going to find are things that can be very easily like searched for yourself. They're not going to take a lot of RNG, not a lot of hours or anything like that to come up with. There's going to be a couple areas we can get them, and then we'll have to kind of wait for a while. I'll explain that when we get to it. But damage typing, Vitality, I'm going to be able to get a lot of lifesteal. That's just going to come with the various vitality skills, not Bone Harvest specifically. There's other things Bone Harvest does that are really nice. Bone Harvest, though, is split up in 3 different damage types. So you do want to bring it into one damage type so you can get the most out of it. That's ideal. There are ways that you can deal with multiple damage types. It is harder, generally speaking, unless they are connected. Like Fire and Chaos can work, because there's a lot of items that provide both fire and chaos damage, and some of the key resistance reductions can reduce both. For example, Occultist vulnerability can reduce chaos and elemental, which will reduce fire. So there's ways you can split it, but we're not gonna try to split. We're just gonna go straight vitality, which is an easier way to do things. And our knives will probably be vitality too. Now, I would check over in this region here. It's just a little kind of grassy region. There's not usually very many enemies. There are these bugs, though. See, I don't like how it just... Yeah, I got past that one because it killed the one in front, but I really like the piercing when we can get it. Oh, missed a level. So we're gonna jump for Heartseeker as soon as we can, because this does a lot of damage right now. I don't feel like we're gonna use it so much. So we're gonna head for Heartseeker. I do want to get Pneumatic Burst, because it's a little heal. I probably should have gotten it there. We'll get it soon. Yeah. I'm disappointed that this slams into one enemy. But I've played this before, and I know you get the piercing is what really makes it pop. Even a little bit of piercing will help a lot. It'll just give us that once in a while a little bit. Now these crystals I do want to smack with the blades because they do my most damage. Now those guys that popped up, they're probably going to die when I kill this. Yeah. So some of these early crystals you want to pop and get them out of the way as soon as possible. Get the white items out of our inventory. Let's take that just to sell it. I like to go up here because there's usually a few enemies. And these crystals will keep shooting. That wasn't good because it hit the guy in front. So we're going to dodge out. There we go. Tear this apart. Let my Constitution heal me. But in Veteran here, enemies do a good bit of damage. So you gotta just kind of stay on your toes. Make sure you use your dodges. Make sure you use your potions, but you gotta be careful about potion use because of the cooldown. That's all I could get to you. Alright, these eyeballs in the back, they'll tear you up because they do elemental. Now, funny, these big poison guys, they do a lot of damage, but they're kind of pushovers, in my opinion. See, I'm kind of weaving in, hitting an enemy and backing out, because there's too many here. I don't have the skills to deal with these guys yet. Can you use their cooldowns, try to kill one at a time, just get them as you can. Almost done. This isn't even the hard part. The hard part's inside. Alright. We're gonna go 2. See, I would get this, but I don't think we can manage to spam it, and it'll do too little damage. It'd be better just to probably hit enemies at that point, or use a ranged weapon. So that is 5 points off. It's gonna take 2 more levels to get there. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna get this. And we are going to get Pneumatic Burst going. Pneumatic Burst is a great little buff, but it only affects you, unlike other buffs that are similar. It gives you a bunch of regeneration. Offensive ability is always important. Pierce damage. It restores health, so it's a heal. And then it gives you total speed. Total speed is kind of a Titan Quest holdover. The total speed gives you attack speed, cast speed, and move speed all at the same time. So I get 2% of all 3 of those all at once. Total speed's incredible. It's amazing whenever you can get it. So this skill is fantastic for that. The main thing you want from it is Breath of Belgothian. Now the reason is we're going to use 2 melee weapons, and this will bring down the recharge of this while also enabling us to dual wield. You can't just dual wield in this game like you can some others. Alright, so what level are we? We're 5. Key thing about 5 is you can start using these gems. I am going to use the Mutagenic Ichor. I'm going to pop that. This is tricky. I'm going to pop it on my weapon. Not the best, but we are going to do that, and I'm going to put Poison Bomb here. So Poison Bomb is the spammable little dot of poison. It's a little AoE. Things will die over time with it. The main reason we want this, in my opinion, Kazog here is annoying because of all his summons, so he usually gets like a bunch of guys helping him, which is problematic because at this early point in the game, you don't have very good options for dealing with a bunch of guys. Like you see, my daggers there did 150 damage to something that has, what do they have? What do you even have? Like 100 hit points. Like, I get 2 every once in a while, but I have to really, like, those missed. No, they hit the train. Okay. Sometimes you gotta watch the train in this game. We'll talk about that when we get Bone Harvest later. Bone Harvest kind of obeys some of the train rules as well. It comes up with a few other builds, but there's little nuances to how different attacks work. But definitely the shooters we want to tear up with our blades when we can. And this is why we have just 1 point in it. Like, we'd be wasting massive damage. Except on Kazog, arguably. He might be a good one to have more damage into. Okay. But this, we just throw a poison bomb. Watch his health. It's gone. This other guy is going to walk right into it. Oh, it ended before he got there. You see, it hits both of them, and they're both gone. And there's nothing I do but just wait there. So that's good. Alright, these crystals down here. If you get the right angle, you can shoot them. I don't, so I'm not going to worry about it. We tried. Okay, we go down here. Now, he's going to have a bunch of guys out here, right? What we do is we start throwing poison bombs around. We're going to clear out his little buddies. We're going to put them on him as we can. Get a few of these guys cleared out so there's maybe 1 or 2. Oh, nope, you guys can't just pop up wherever you want. See how they're just all dying left and right? He's hurt, so we'll just throw some knives at him. That didn't work. So I used my potion there because I've got my other heal ready, but he does quite a bit of damage early. So we're just going to slap him with a few things. That time it missed. Pick 1 gun in. There we go. Got a few. My energy's low. I'm just going to pop my energy potion. Keep up. But see, we kind of keep his minions down and we keep moving. You gotta stick and move with this guy. We stand in that, it's that bright green stuff. We stand in that poison both the bleed from the blades. Finish them off. Just do that. And for example, you can check the bleed from the blades with Phantasmal Blades here. See, it's got 50 bleeding. I think that's per second. Is that per second? It may be. It may be. This screen for DPS is a little tricky because it kind of picks whatever is your best, or it weights them. There's a couple of different ways it looks like it does it. But Phantasmal Blades, it says 36 here. It's because it has a 3-second cooldown. So this number of its damage is it's averaging it and then dividing it by 3, which is not terribly helpful. Alright, so we're going to take these boots just because they're better than nothing. The helmet... I think the energy's better because I was running out there. Kazog's skull, we don't do fire or aether, but those stats are pretty good. The cooldown reduction will help early on, and the poison resist. Poison's pretty helpful early on. Alright, and the rest of this is good. We're going to go get something called our devotion point. Now, if you don't know what this is, they're basically points on like passive abilities that you can get. Poison Heather Crystal. Just clear all that out there. Sometimes guys spawn in the back here. They're not this time. I'll take the books. Cold. Armor. Has some fire resist. We're going to go with that because I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of fire going on early. You want these resists up as soon as you can get them. That's the kind of key thing. This one's kind of neither way because it's pierce and electrocute. I don't... Oh, no, this one's just damage. That's why we don't want it. Okay. Explains that. Devotion Shrine, it wants an Aether Crystal from me. I get those from destroying the bigger Aether Crystals that are shooting me. So we offer one of those. They give some things. Steel Calf we can't use. Leather Boots we can use, and they're better, and they have resistance, so even better. So now my poison resistance is better. I'm going to have a lot easier time dealing with the poison guys. Now on Devotion Grid here, we've got this huge grid of points, but each one's split into constellations like you can see here. This is the Falcon. This one's the Rat, like they're pretty self-explanatory. We're going to start with the Bat, and that's because the Bat gives some bleeding and vitality. which we're going to eventually be doing. But we want this skill, Twin Flames. It's got a very low cooldown. It steals a lot of life, does decent damage. So we want to head for this first. It'll take a while before we get it, but it's something to start with. So that's where we are. That's where we're going. Start with a green. So the green will give us offensive ability. That's good to help us hit. And you see how those light up? This is what we qualify for. All these take 1 green to start them, as you can see. But you gotta start in the middle. Now, these can support themselves. I explain that as this one gives 2 red and 3 green. We pay 1 green so that we can access it. Once we have the full thing, we get 2 red, 3 green. We can sell this back, get that point back, because this green will support it. That's very important to moving around the grid. You can get super efficient with the grid if you use it right. Because the middle points aren't bad. You don't want them, you don't want too many of them, is more of a... So a few of these are going to die, just because they're brought to life by the crystal. And smack these guys. Get them out of the way. Get that poison bomb up here. Lob one to them. Did not realize poison bomb would kill it so early. These component spells are really nice. And this has bleeding, so that's a little tempting. 88 spirit though, so you might be a little ways from that. Even this guy, look at him. He's a poison dude. He's hurt by that too. It's crazy. That's kind of just early on. They're probably resistant later. Okay, so while we do want this, we don't exactly need it right now. We might pick it up if we find a really good, like a really good weapon that would go with it. We are still aiming for Heartseeker, so we're going to pop some points here. And this track is really important too. You can see I've put in 13 points into it, and it's giving me those core stats, which I need to be able to wear gear, health and energy as well. So very helpful. And I can't use this yet, but you can see I'm at 83. I could use it soon. Now, I've got 5 available points here. My theory with this is I don't even spend them unless it matters. So like if I wanted to use this book, I could pop a point into spirit. I'll just do that now, and now I can use it. But I don't want to use it yet because that book's okay. It's nothing special. But the spirit will give me a little bit of extra damage. Probably not much. Physique gives you some like health and defense. It's more defensive. Cunning is more for like bleed, pierce weapons, things like that. A little more quicker stuff, but it also gives you offensive ability, which is really important. So we'll eventually want more of that. Now we didn't get any rings or anything, so we're kind of stuck with our current gear. And we've got these guys waiting for us, so we're going to throw poison bombs in there. Kill a few of them. And you're probably thinking like, wow, that poison bomb is way more effective than your blades. But not necessarily. I haven't invested in my blades. They will be better. They will be much better. But I want Heartseeker first so I can shoot through groups. And then I'll decide if I want to pull them down any. So that got a couple guys there. And we even killed them with bleed damage afterward. Very nice. Alright, great. Now, at this point, a reasonable idea would be to go back to town. I think I wanted to go ahead and save it for 5 scrap first. There's a reason for that. Throw my poison bomb in and just, kill everybody. That's kind of why the poison bomb is real good early. You can clear some stuff a lot easier with it. You can supplement your damage if it's not super great. And enemies will just run into it like idiots. Come on. Come on. Come on in. There we go. Now this guy has a big pack of dudes with him to throw a poison bomb at the door, just to soften them up. These guys are a little tougher right now. Okay, did you saw that poison bomb fly off the screen? That's kind of a quirk of lobbed weapons. Sometimes terrain doesn't do with them. This guy you don't really want to fight head on if you can avoid it. He likes to spit nastiness in your face, and he throws Aether everywhere. And you see, my Aether is 0. Aether is a little harder to get. It's actually one of the harder resistances to get in general. We're just going to poison walk away. He's got a lot of health. It'll take a minute, but... It's that completely. Pop him once with a hit. Gotta remember to turn that on because it's a buff. It stays right on the screen. Got him a little bit with that. A little poison there too. So this isn't difficult. We're just whittling him down because we just don't do much damage yet. And that's alright. We're gonna get there. Okay, so he just fell over. That Orby drop, that basically has his little trove there. So you drop this shield, just pick up the sell it, pop this. Shield. Freeze. Nothing I really need. I do need to kill him for a quest though, so that's kind of why I was focusing on that. Hide jacket. So that's got some pierce and cold. Don't really care about the retaliation, but it's not too bad. Alright. There's the armor on that. Same armor. I'm going to hang on to it because I don't know how much pierce and cold there really is at this point in the game. There's a little cold damage happens down the road, just not yet. Oops, I didn't see him in the bush. So we can spin our screen around. I kind of hate to do it, but you can spin it around so I can see a little better. And then on the number pad, if you hit 2, it just pops right back to where it was. That is useful if you accidentally zoom out too much. You can pop it right back. Or if you zoom in too far, I can't see anything. Just pop it right back. Not a big deal. Okay, so the guy in the back, he's shooting poison everywhere. He is a pain. Not if you just slash him with blades, though. So for the little trash mob, I'm doing plenty of damage. You don't really need that much. It's the bigger guys that you more have to be concerned with, or packs of enemies. You don't want to engage a pack too long at this early point, unless you're focused on doing more melee stuff to them. Like attacking them real close up. That can be okay. Because a melee build is going to have a lot more output in the close range. And it's probably going to be using a shield or something like a two-hander where they're going to be one-shot into groups of guys. They have a little bit more advantage on that early on. But range can stay a little safer in general. So I can just kind of kite around. It takes a moment to kill guys like this when I have to kite around. That's one thing that'll be alleviated when we have some good damage later on the ring. Alright. Kill these dudes. I think I'm going to go up to the next portal and then pop back to town. Now there's little side areas like this, and places you can destroy, and little treasures in here. Not always anything exciting. I did get a ring though, and that's real nice. That would have saved me some things. And if you excuse me for just a second here. Alright, sorry, I had to jump for a second, but I am back, and let's see here.
My inventory is full.
Inventory's full. So we got this little button here, inventory auto sort. We can do this, just see if we can get some more space. We can get a little bit.
My inventory is full.
It's not really important to pick up every single little thing you find. I am just doing it because you probably playing the game for, you know, first, second, third time, something like that. You're probably still encouraged that you think you should pick up every item. You don't really have to. I'm just doing it out of, you know, old habits, die hard sort of thing. So now they've got a lot more enemies going on. So having that AoE, I think, is really important. You need to have something that you can deal with groups of enemies early on, especially in Veteran, where there are more groups of enemies. Normal, they kind of fall over so fast it doesn't matter. Okay. And should be coming up on the portal. I'm just heading straight for it. There is stuff off to the side I might come back for. Huh. Sometimes the lobsters aren't great, which is why we're not going to stick with them this time around. As you can see how they're just kind of flying wherever they want. Go. Now the level's good. Alright, this is a very helpful level. So one more point. We get up to Heartseeker. So this is going to make it cost more, but now it has a 20% pass through. And you see the next level goes up to 30. So that's going to keep going until it gets to 100%. And then it just pierces through enemies. Now it throws three blades, so I think it takes long before it starts feeling pretty good. we're gonna go around. Go around and down. Now, as I said, there are early game items. You're probably like, "Where's where's something for this group?" I saw a two-hander. Well, there is an axe back in town. That'd be a good one-hand starter. There is a gun. That's a decent range starter, and that's good. We don't have good gloves. Toss this for a second. Pop these new gloves on, and which of these? I don't think it really matters. Okay. There's the totem down there. I would like to do that if at all possible. Go run through these guys. There we go. That one passed through the next guy. And you see, it already is doing okay damage, even though I've only got 2 points in the whole skill. That doesn't really hold true through the whole game, though. You do want to put enough points in your damage skill. Where are my shots going? That's why that's not a main skill. It kind of just goes where it wants. Alright, we're going to go up here. Portal should be closed. There we go. You can see it on the little mini-map here. Mini-map a little bigger so you guys can see what's going on. No poison in this group. Didn't pierce that time. My shots are going everywhere. There we go. Okay. Now, these guys are going to be a little harder up here, but it's alright. We're just going to start them off with some poison since they slowly get out of the ground. Knife them a little bit and just kite them. No need to fight and waste your life for nothing. You can always pop an energy potion if that's an issue. And they're just dying. We're going to get past him because he walked into some nastiness and he's dead. Next group. This doesn't happen all the time, but you do sometimes have to clear out these portals. This should finish off most of them, except this big guy here. I say big guy, this guy's more medium. And they like to block. Weirdly, damage over time does okay with block. Okay. You see there's a couple fire guys in here now, so you kind of let out that fire resist just in case. And they're dead, and the portal becomes active. So we can leave this stuff for now. It doesn't really do us much good. We're going to pop back to town, because they're going to be real happy that I cleared all of that stuff. And did I get the 5 scrap I intended? No, I did not. Well, that's fine.
The dead a creature was. I need some time to plan our strategy.
Right,
in the meantime, there are other.
He wants me to speak to some other people, but I'm going to go in here first. I'm going to get everything taken care of in here. There's some free stuff. Everyone likes free stuff. This guy we saved. She gives us some free stuff. And her, she's going to give us a quest. So she can give us some free stuff. Her quest is pretty decent. Nothing crazy. She'll give me an amulet and some, her amulet and the thing you have to get rid of, or you have to take care of for the quest.
Greetings, child.
Is going to give you a quite good helmet. That's about good on anyone early on. It gives a lot of aether resist. So it's real handy for that early. Because you don't need much aether resist, or aether damage you have to deal with early. You do meet more of it that you have to deal with later. So we're just selling everything here. We don't really need any of this. We definitely want to keep these. These would be very necessary later when we have to respect some things. Sell that, and you know what, I'll try to steal this. Nope, I don't like that. So you can resort a few times to move it, to have it shift where everything's at. But this is like basically another tank fest over too. Alrighty.
See you around.
On we go. We got our level. So for this level, I'm going to put every point I have into Heartseeker. This is unusual. You don't often want to slug all your points into one thing early. I'm going to do this though because I want that piercing. So now it's at 50% piercing. So much better chance. Now I'm going to slow down past this point because that's going to help a lot all by itself. This guy is going to give me some money because he wants me to go play some beats for it. This guy's going to take one of our 8
Welcome to my
crystals.
rift game. You don't remember anything. Excellent. We have to say it.
Alright, great. He gives us a skill point for that. That's super nice. I'm a little tempted to just hold that skill point for now. Although, there are a couple things we could put into it that would be handy. This is always a handy little element, but let's hold it for now. We gotta make sure we can support the energy cost of that.
The captain send you over? Search.
He wants us to get scrap. You can possibly go to this guy
Give you a good
and
price.
check his accessories. So he's got 2 scrap here. I could buy those. That's a lot of money, though. We can just find them, and we're gonna have to level anyway. So let's top off the lower crossing. So that was a bit of a mistake. Although I could kill enemies through here and look for scrap. Let's just go White Mire though. Grab these while we're here. I'm going to double back because we can always warp back to that point very easily. We're just going to look around for enemies, scrap piles, anything like that. Now this is doing some damage. And it's piercing pretty reliably. That's real good. So this group... Oh yeah, that's much better. Now we can use that a little bit more. A little bit more as we need it. No, go away. And look at that. Like already, that's another thing about it. It shotguns real nicely. Like it is better when you get it like this, especially for these groups. A slip that show up, you can just handle them so much easier. This guy's in the back. Oh, he's already dead. All right, this cave here. It's an unmarked cave. Okay, this one is a little nice one to do. Nothing crazy goes on in here, but there is a little extra experience and some initial rovers experience I get, I believe, which is good to start rovers early. These guys are a little tougher than usual because they are technically enemies from the next act. Well, we got some shoulders. That's real good. Armor is kind of nothing special. I don't know if I want to reduce my defenses that much, especially when we're going to start finding green soon. So these yellow items are just magic items. The green ones are rare. We're going to start coming on greens. Like as we near 10, we're going to start getting greens all the time. Let's offer that, but they don't care. So we give us rovers experience. This tab's check more factions. It's important. So we are up on rovers and Devil's Crossing. It's real nice. We need those for later to help with resistances. For like in-game gear and making sure we don't just heal over and die. Get those guys. Just finish them off. And again, these notes are good. Bone doesn't do us any good. That's a little tempting only because it's got a lot higher armor, but I think I prefer the stats. So again, not much in here. We're just going to make our way for the door. We're at 4 scrap. Oh, another thing that might be helpful to you if you're playing this game for the first time. Under, where is it? I believe it's gameplay? Yeah, gameplay. There's this thing here called auto loot radius. It's real nice just to kick that all the way to the top, just so that you have your AoE of picking up loot as big as possible, so you don't have to run around and stuff as much. Some people don't know that's like that you can even increase that so easily, because some games you have to get, like Diablo 3, I remember, you have to like specifically go and get that from items, like have that stat appear on items to increase your radius. It's kind of annoying, but that's how it is here. Alright, now as we hit 10, we're at 9 now. As we hit 10, they're gonna offer, hey, do you want to go ahead and take your second class? Now most of the time, like almost every character, I will highly recommend go ahead and take your second class, because there's probably a couple early things that even if you don't put much into it, it's still helpful. Like just, you know, one little aura or something can make a big difference early on. But for what I'm doing want to avoid it as long as we can. And that is going to make things harder as we progress, but also easy in some ways, because there'll be less choices to make. So I do like how that's piercing through enemies now. Much better. Much better. We've got strong AoE this group here. Half of them already dead. This guy, we just slash him out too. Gun. And again, you don't have to pick up stuff like this. You'll get enough money. Alright, I had a level. We're gonna go one here. And two in the bar as we go. Because our damage is enough. We don't really need to raise damage. Okay, I'm gonna check down here. For one more piece of scrap. Here's some bugs. Kill them real quick. And back on topic, I was talking about green weapons. There's a green crossbow over here. You might have to see what that does for us. Yeah, big group of dogs. Too many monsters and dogs. There's our scrap. Okay, we're done here. Well, I say that, then I do want to show you the location of where that crossbow's at. Maybe do the totem up here, since I've got respectable damage and, piercing at this point. Big group. Big groups are fun, though. Big groups get lots of experience rapidly. That's what we want. We want to railgun through groups of enemies. Because Bone Harvest naturally does that. These are projectiles. Bone Harvest is a big, AoE. If you don't know what it does, you will see what it does. This might be... Do we have any greens? We've got a couple. The greens come from these more often. So we're going to toss down some poison. Just 3 parting gifts. Slash them up a little bit. Oh man, they do a lot of damage. Pop my buff there. Hop around them. Try to take out the outside stragglers that are shooting at us. We don't want that. My character does not like what happened, but, we pop our buff. Try to use that as long as possible. Oh, don't get caught in corners. Don't do what I do. This guy, I guess he's Aether? Yeah. Aether corrupted. Just keep laying down damage on them. Use a hit E to use a energy potion there. They come up in just a few seconds, so just use that early on. We'll have some minor solutions for that later. Okay, we got a bunch of items that might be okay. Lightning and poison, but that's already... Well, it is giving us physique and higher armor, so that's much better. Okay. So I'm looking through these quickly. You can slow things down if you need to. Fire and poison in the shoulders, I think that's a lot better. Let's do that. Let's do that. And the coat is better armor, but the stats are not good. Interesting. A bleeding bolt action rifle. That's a little tempting. The maul. So you gotta ignore kind of the damage per second number. That's not really what matters. So, we're looking at Phantasmal Blades. 214, 234. Pop this on. We can't use it. Needs 129. I won't worry about that right now. We'll see. Now it wants me to select my next class. I'm not going to do that. We're going to do 2 points. 1 here. We're going to get this to 100 as soon as we can. Let's see what Phantasmal Blades looks like after we pop this on. 245 to 308. But I'm going to give it my Poison Bomb for a while, and cooldown, and resistance. I don't think it's enough. I don't think it is more damage. I don't think it's enough to matter right now. So we're going to cut up through here. There's some slits hanging out up here. There's the camp people they killed because they're rude. Just a bunch of big minis down here. Oh, can't shoot through that. As you notice, my blades are starting to cost a bit of energy now, huh? It's gonna happen. They're good. They're good attacks. Slide right through enemies. It's real nice. So now we can line up groups and railgun them. None of them went through that guy. 70% chance. Yeah. It's bound to happen every so often. This guy here, it's rotting corpse right by this cage. He drops Gavlin's crossbow. It's not a bad little crossbow. It comes with ring of steel on hit, so it's something. And pants, those are real good. Belt. We'll take those and sell them. Alright. So I really wanted to come out here and see everything that we had to offer out here. Got us some good experience. And now we are going to pop back to Devil's Crossing. And we're going to start the quest in the cave. So,
Come see what's left of my wares.
do I want this? No. These I want to keep because we get a decent ring early on with those, and we're likely to find more. I'm a little tempted to buy an amulet just because mine is still the salt bag, which does not do much good for us. Even though energy regen would be beneficial. Let's see. That's not bad for 515. I might do that. That's 2 and 5 cunning. That's 7% bleeding is not going to give us anything. The 2 to 6 lightning might do a bit more for us, because our blades do have some weapon damage, so we gain a little bit from that. But, like, you're talking, what, 1 to 4, something like that. Defensive ability is nice. We're already pretty good there. Nah, let's go with this, because we're likely to replace it very quickly. I just want a little energy regen. And then any rings that are cheap and have decent stats. We don't, see with this, we don't need cast or attack speed right now. A little energy would be nice. Good bit of health would be good too. Okay, that's pretty cheap. Less than 1,000 for a little bit of damage, a little bit of energy regen. Energy regen is a whopping 14, nothing crazy. But we'll make that a little easier to deal with.
Did you get the scrap? Perfect. Well, since I've cleared this key.
I think I've decided when I get to 100%, we will try to see what Spamlum does. But you give the scrap to him, so that's all my scrap gone. Bummer. We'll get more. There's plenty more. It gets dropped all the time. We're going to go down here and do this quest. Now, I'm going to finish this quest, and then I'm going to call it after that. Alright, so in this quest, you come into this cave, there's a bunch of dudes hanging out. Just like they do. Just like they do. Hanging out, not doing anything useful except rocking up the water supply. Alright. At this point, we don't really want to be melee attacking anymore. So we're going to switch this to move. I don't want to do poison bomb on there. Don't forget your buff. I forget it more early when it's weak than I do when it's later. Like, later in the game, I tend to, like, spam it. Early on, it's weak, and there's not much you can do with it. This guy's a bit of a problem. He is right up in our face. We have nothing to kite him around, so we're just kind of stuck. Did he just Shadow Strike? Bummer. Shadow Strike is like a teleport attack. Some enemies can do it, and early on, it does a lot of damage. Okay, so we've slashed him up pretty good. He's running back bleeding. So enemies have a leash in the game. Titan Quest had that too. You could abuse that on enemies. You can do it a little bit here, but some enemies are really fast and it doesn't make the difference. So he deflected some of that, so he's got a little bit of dodge. But he's going to die from bleeding poison there. There we go. Slow and steady. These don't do me any good. By now, I usually switch off the yellow items, but I really haven't found many green items. Maybe this character's just not going to find many greens. That could be a problem. That doesn't really happen. We're going to be fine. Not even. Oh, that's right. Turned off my melee attack. I was just going to sock him once, but didn't do anything. Alright, so far so good. Clearing all right for the eyeball real quick. Wow, all of them impacted that guy. Okay, energy's doing better. We found a green belt. That's good. Our current belt gives a lot of resist, though, and this one gives a little bit more of our damage types and some offensive and defensive ability. Both good things, but not really what we want. There is a chest back here, so we'll try our hand at rolling that one. Stormcaller's Circlet, which is more or less useless for me. It does have some energy regen, so we might use it. Well, and elemental resist. We might use it if we have to. Scrap Sword. A decent one if you're an auto attacker. I'm not, so it doesn't do much at all for us. Line up enemies and just shoot them down. See how well that works? Just slash them apart as they come. Oh, we even got that guy in the back. So this is like a good skill on its own. You could build all the way around this skill. I'm not going to. I'm using it as kind of a stopgap until I get the actual skill I'm going to use, which is Bone Harvest, which I love Bone Harvest. Bone Harvest is amazing. I'm going to kill these guys. So you saw a neat thing there where my damage over time was critting. If you crit with the initial hit of something that deals a damage over time, all of the damage over time crits as well. Very nice. Very nice to know. Which means if you can reapply a damage over time to an enemy, it might be a good idea to do so, to take advantage of that. Now, I'm doing better with resistances than I was. These enemies are starting to get higher level and they're doing more damage. So, there might have been a little piercing mixed in with that. All these moving good. Do them, throw a poison bomb in there. There we go. See, this is where that stacking into that one particular effect is useful. Now, it's not useful all the time. There are certain things you want to put like a single point into, because they do a lot for you, like with 1 point. They'll do more with more points, of course, but like you get a big bonus from their effect with a single point put in. Bone Harvest has a point like that that increases its range by, I believe, 2 meters. So you definitely want to get a point there, but the other points into it, like more increased like damage and confusion, so they don't do as much like initial big impact effect. And this, you want to put several points into getting the word Pierce. But once you have that 100% Pierce, well, you don't need any more points in it. I don't know if I can wing them in there very well. Come out a little bit. Alright. There we go. That pack of enemies is probably the first major challenge for people. Because when you come down here, well, maybe the first boss in Veteran, or first mini-boss, but when you come down here, these guys are just shooting you right off the bat. If you don't have some defenses, they're just going to tear you wide open. So, get to 80. Now, as you see, I'm going down the track here because I still want to keep my stats up, and it opens up other skills as I go. Now, I haven't gotten those other skills. I won't get many of them, but I will get a few. But I want this to 100%. That's a priority. When we can rely on it, we don't have to worry about maybe it won't go through enemies, because it always will. Another skill that does that is, now it's on Cadence. Cadence is a soldier skill that is an auto attack, and it kind of does nothing, and the third hit does its full effect. So it kind of like ramps up and explodes, It's just kind of how it's designed. Cadence, though, has its second effect. If you're using a gun with it, the second upgrade to it does the same thing. It'll make the Cadence shot pierce. And you have to get it up to level 8, I believe, and then it has 100% piercing. So that gives you a reliable crowd control effect that every third shot, you know you're going to pierce through a group of enemies. So it can allow you to shoot, and then line up the third shot to hit a whole group. So it's really important to a ranged build that uses cadence to get that. But you want that as soon as possible. And this build also seems really important because it's clearing things out just fine. And remember, I just have 1 point in the initial skill. Like, there's a reason I haven't raised that as well. It increases the mana cost a bit. Like every point, what is it? 4 energy cost. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. Now this one's not adding as much damage, but it is impactful enough. Look at that. Through a whole line of enemies. Right here is great. You can just slash right through it to show off how nice this skill is. And they're even dying from the bleeding. Because this thing increases the bleeding damage. That's what you know. And my weapon is benefiting it too, like giving it bleeding damage to work with. Cleared out. Now this boss coming up, I think is an easy one. But the trick to it is the boss can sunder, which is really important to know about. See, there we go. That is a much better amulet. I'm glad we didn't spend much on that. Fire resist, cold resist, energy regen, and health regen. That's just fantastic. So that's going to give us a lot better bonuses early on. And we can probably sit on that to get a good green to work with. You don't need the damage. A lot of games you want to get damage so you can do more damage. Early on, you don't need it so much in this game. Okay, this is not the boss I was talking about. Didn't expect him to be here, but we got one to deal with. We're going to clear out his buddies best we can. Alright. They're coming fast enough that I can't... Yeah, he's swift. So he's got an aura that makes everything around him faster. That's why I couldn't get away from him. I don't have enough run speed early on to deal with that. So we're just going to kite him back and forth. He's going to hit us a little bit. There's not much we can do about that. You're going to get hit. Alright, he dropped Stone Face for it. So what's weird is that is not really better either. This one, though, is Cold and Lightning. 15 regen. Ooh, I don't know if I want to give it the poison, but the poison is our highest resist, so I feel like in this case we can give it up, and that 15 regen is going to help us. This one we don't have to worry about. It has good regen, but no resists. Clear out some of these guys. I prefer to fight this boss from the underside here, this way. Now, key thing with this boss. Don't use your dash too early. You gotta kind of save your dash. So we're just gonna guys riffraff here. And nope. More riffraff. See? No problem. There he is. So he puts this down. That does damage over time. Don't stand in there. And you see the red thing that went over his head? He was about to do a skill. Okay, so he does a poison thing. That's not a big deal if you get hit by it. This one you don't want to stand in. This... Oh. Okay, that's weird. I interrupted him. Okay, so when he does that red charge over his head, he shoots a wave of water. I'm going to let him do it here. You can dodge right over the wave of water. If you get hit by that, you're going to get sundered. I'm going to let myself get sundered once here, just so you see what happens. Here we go. Now, I take more damage from everything else he hits me with while that effect's on. It's over, so we want to avoid that. But if you can't avoid it, like don't dodge that. That slows you. But he's gonna sunder, jump behind him, and just shoot him. Like you can kill him with any ability pretty much. Just jump behind him, whoop, and shoot him. Cooldowns got me there. That's kind of why I don't want the cooldowns. Cooldowns don't let you react when you want to. Oh, he's got me in the wall. No. Yep. We can just dodge straight through him. And he's got a lot of life, so it's going to take me a minute to whittle him down. Right through. See? Not a problem. Just keep damaging him. We'll die eventually. And if you get sundered once or twice, it's okay. No big deal. You see now my energy is keeping up a lot better, too. That one I dodged into a rock. Go watch the terrain. I dodged too early there, so now I'm not going to have the dodge. I actually do have it. Comes up pretty quick. Now I'm going to use Energy Potion just to top off. Alright. trying to get a little poison on him so I can get some extra damage. That's kind of why the energy's got a little bit more. Get you in a corner because dog's back. Bit of a boring fight, but down he goes. There we go. He drops a very nice ring. He always drops a rare ring. And this one has some Amaryllis Blade Burst. It shows up because I can use that skill, not because I have it. Gives offensive ability, cunning, some acid damage. These aren't terribly good, but it does give some resist, which is nice. So I'm this 1 to 4 damage ring, 1 energy. I'm gonna get rid of that. Not doing much for us. I was just touting how nice my energy was now. Destroy some boxes. Some more scrap. Get another shrine. So he dropped some Shadow's Grasp. These might be more useful for me. Leather boots. Those aren't bad. If they had move speed, I'd probably put them on. They just don't. They don't really seem to give them off resist. But we're training like vitality for poison at that point. It's hard to say. We're probably going to see more poison. And this has Aether resist and cold damage. It's okay. Like it just. Sometimes it's not enough early on. So now we're starting to see green, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn off common and magic items. We're not going to see common and magics anymore. So those infantry band braces here, I'm holding Alt so I see them. Not going to see them anymore. Not going to pick them up, nothing like that. Our devotion point, again, we're going bat, so we're going to start the first point of that, which gives vitality and bleed damage bonus. And that's where we're ending with Phantasmal Blades. I still have my point. We're going to do one very last thing. Pop back Devil's Crossing, get our experience. And we are going to test to see how we want to do things here. So he's going to give me experience.
You're like clearing out those. Well done.
Nope, not quite there. So here's a normal attack. Just, you know, pops through enemies, but I gotta wait for it, so I can. That's how fast I can do it. Let's see those numbers one more time. So roughly 200 with 100 damage over time. If we take Frenetic Throw, now I can do this. Right? Real nice. That's pretty good. It's going to eat energy, but I can do it when I want. And the bleed is a lot less. But it's pretty good. Okay. I think we'll go with that now. Still want to raise this. I got, like, what, 2 more levels? Yeah, two more levels worth to get that up to its full potential. But I might spread some points around next level too. Now, if we ever want to change that, we can go to her and just simply click it. It's going to cost 25 bits, of which we have 12,000, and it'll turn that mutator for that throw back off, so that we're not using it. You can also use her to change devotion points, which we may do at some point. But this is going to send back the devotion point, but it costs 25 bits, but also an Aether Crystal. Now this is going to use for my store of Aether Crystals. I'm never going to use more than I actually have on this character. This character has 1 right now, because I've been spending them on various things, like devotion shrines and such. And you have to get those from the Aether Crystals, so I may have to go find some Aether Crystals. I'm going to talk to John Bourbon real quick.
Good, you're back. One of my scouts came back with news making our youth group follow the road.
And I'm going to go do some work for him. So we are done here. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was informative. And I hope you join me longer on the journey. Thank you so much. Have a good day, and